Okay, MDs, we just finished the speaker call and I got a lot of stuff, as you can see behind me, to share with you. And the reason why I'm doing this video today is because the update video is probably not going to be ready for you till next Tuesday morning, because these guys got 1,851 policies just submitted yesterday. Let me say this one more time. 1,851 policies submitted in one day. You know how crazy that number is? That is more than July of last year. So listen, we did more policies in a single day than July of last year. Do you know how crazy of a growth you guys are on right now? The trajectory we're on right now with PHP. So I broke down some of the numbers. I have some plus minuses I want to cover with you, and I want to give you about 10 points that I'd be thinking about on how to go to the convention to make sure you go solid into the convention, and then what I'm doing coming out of the convention. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So first things first, how do we end up? So remember how I told you we did 1,851 policies in one day yesterday? That's what we did last July, 1859. 1859. Now check this out. How many recruits did we do on the last day of closeout? Because a lot of people keep asking me, Pat, what was the number? Well, December of 2017, which was just 9 months ago, we did 1,489 recruits in a single month. That's 31 days. How many recruits you think we did in a single day on July 31st? You ready? Did we do 500, 600, 700, 800? Come on, Pat, 900? 1,000? No way in the world we cracked out, did we? Yep, we cracked 1,302 recruits yesterday. So far, record is 3,432. What is our new record now? Is it 4,000? Did we hit 4,000? Come on, Pat. Don't tell me we did more than 4. Did we do 4,250? Don't tell me we did 42. What did we do? We did 4,500, didn't we? Is that what it is? Nope. You know what the new record is for a month? And by the way, the moment I post it on social media, I want you to share it all over the place on social media, because people got to know what PHP is up to right now. You ready? Here's a number. Not 4,500. 4,722 recruits in a single day is what you did. By the way, that is more than the first 2 years of PHP combined. Let me say this one more time. That is more than the first 2 years of PHP combined. So what does this really mean to you? Because if we did 4,722 and our prior record was 3,432, that's nearly 1,300 more recruits, ain't it? And if it's 1,300 more recruits increase, who's really doing it? Let's take a look at who did most of that on closeout. Then I'll tell you who did most of that in hierarchy. So here's the best base closeout. Gaitan's at 63.5 recruits just yesterday. Number one, leading their entire hierarchy. They said, Pat, we're going to do 1,000 recruits. We're going to do 1,000 recruits. They said it so many times that they're going to be the first hierarchy to crack 1,000 recruits, that maybe they even surprised themselves, but they at least led the way from the front. Hart and Elvana, 61. These guys are making a name for themselves. That is what I'm talking about. 61 recruits in a single day. Wait till you hear some of the other numbers I have for these guys. Vargas, 51 recruits in a single day closeout. Ricky and Erica, 48. Del Toro, 46. Alejandro, 33. You know what's unique about this number here? Ready? Here's what it is. 5 out of 7 recruiting base shops for closeouts are from TGA. 5 out of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is from one hierarchy. Great job, TGA. Let's see who else led the way. By the way, take a look at this. Molina, 33. After popping out an MD, did 33 in a day. Sapalas and Hilario. Hilario did 31. Good job. Almaraz, 30. Cobos, 29. Richardson and Marcelo, 27 recruits in a single day. Great job. I think he promoted 6 directors, and these guys promoted like 6 or 7 directors, maybe even more. Solis and Galindo, 24. Check this out. Solis and Hilario, second generation Cornerstone. They are out recruiting every other veteran on Cornerstone. Let me continue. Richardson, Marcelo, 27. Galindo, Solis, 24. Castro, 22. Gadet and Gerda, 18. Cardenas and Del Valle, 17. I can't think of the last time this guy did 17 in a month, let alone 17 in a day. Del Valle, 17. Great job. Renee and Dalila, these guys are coming up. So proud of them. Graziani, 15.5. Now, let me give you some of the other guys that closed out. These are just the numbers that did over 15 that I have on the board. All right, so Polet and Siama, Exabetimani, 14. Cerna, 14. They had their best closeout. I think they promoted 3 directors. Trailer Quanine, 13. K-Park, 12. Paul Medrano, Rita, 12. Luke Rayford, rookie MD. Only been an MD for July is the only month. 11. Pimber, 11. Zaldo, Musgrove, Carl Rodriguez, Carlos Medrano, Vic and Anna, Marroquin, Pineda, Roger, Chapman, 10. By the way, these guys had a bunch of people in their office on closeout. These are all the people that have 10 or more recruits in a single day. Let's take a look at the next list. Here we go. Terrazas, Alfredo, Wendy, Jackie, Kelleroy, Castillo, 9. Mason, 8.5. New office, 51 recruits in a month. Good job. Sears, Michael Bryant, Vinci, Cooper, El Jeanette, Gaines, Joselito, Welch, Angie, 8. Marco Trujillo, I missed your O by the way, but I know. Wendy and Greg, Coulter, David Leon, Brianna Del Valle, Luan, 7. There you go. Eatman, 6. Robert Tasio, Martinez, Flavio, Alexandro, Donna Melikian, David Bryan, Colmenares, 6. Saldana, 5.5. Ultima, Alborzi, Gomez had 5 recruits on closeout. Now let's take a look at which hierarchy had the most recruits on closeout. Here we go. Super team closeout. Who led the way? You want to take a wild guess? Pretty easy, ain't it? Gaitans, 359 in a day. Palayo, 269 in a day. Del Toro, 198. Cooper, 185.5. Vargas, 170. Sapalos, 150.5. Graziani, 130. 131. Diana Joe, 123.5. Alejandro, 111. Phelps, 69.5. Kahindi, 40 recruits. Closeout. That's what closeout looks like so far. So let's look at some of the names, some notable names in base shop recruiting that I'm proud of. Before I share with you who I'm proud of for MDs that went above and beyond with their MD-based recruits, some of the guys I'm really looking forward to, I'm going to give you 10 or 11 names that are just crazy. So proud of these guys for what they've done to have the biggest plus minus. I didn't go into depth to look at everybody's. These are some of the names that I just looked at briefly. These are people that have the biggest plus minus of what they did in July versus their prior best record. Let me give you an idea. This is how I measure my business all the time. Meaning, if your prior best record for base shop recruiting was 20, and last month you did 40, your plus minus is 20. You went from 20 to 40, so you have a plus minus of 20. That is great. Look at some of the plus minuses we had last month by MDs. And look at who's number 1. Crazy. First of all, I got Vargas's at number 10 because they did 222 and they beat their prior best of 205. That's a new record, by the way. They beat Gaitan's record of 211. They went up 17, but they went up 17 on 205. That is not an easy number to go up on after promoting 2 MDs out of their base shop. I'm so proud of these guys. Galindo. No one thinks about Galindo. They're out of El Paso. She's the sweetest person out there. Her prior best was 11. She went to 32. That's a plus 21. Galindo, you need to be so proud of yourself for increasing that 11 to 32. That's by 21 recruits you increased it. Hilario, prior best 42, went to 63. That's a plus minus 21. Great job. Almaraz, his prior record was 114. He did 137. He increased it by 23. Luke Rayford did 29 recruits. He wasn't an MD last month, so his plus minus is 29. Great job, Luke Rayford. Really like that guy. Gaudet, 41 recruits, prior best 11. He's up 30. He's up 30 is what we have. Hart, 151. His record was 115. He officially owns the record in all of Liberation. It's not Pimber. It's not Phelps. It's not Hart. It's not the Eatmans. It is Hart. Chris and Vicinio Hart, 151 recruits in the base shop, plus minus 36. Next, Marcelo. Marcelo is Rodolfo's brother. Marcelo, the 2 brothers kicking butt. 76 recruits last month. He promoted, I think, 6, again, directors. 36 was his prior best, plus minus 40. And then we have Marvin and D, 106. My goodness, look at him, number 2 spot. Their prior best was 49. They ended up with 106. 57 recruits, Marvin and D. That is insane to me to go up 50. You ought to be so proud of yourself to increase it by 57. But number 1 is Elvana. Elvana from Santa Ana. I don't know what it is. I'm so excited for these guys. I got to go visit them one of these days. 130 recruits, prior best 42. I think it's 42, maybe a little bit higher, but it's not much higher than that. Plus minus 88. Elvana, that's insane. Great job, Elvana. And so some of you guys may say, well, Pat, I think you left somebody up. Yes, because I have a wild card as well. The wild card up here is Renee and Dalila Reyes. These guys were close. I've given up. I don't know if this works. Last month in June, not July, 2 months ago, they did 4 recruits in a month. No one was looking at their names. They were emotional at the Million Point Base Shop retreat. Renee and Dalila, can we do this? Last month, 61, plus minus 57. So proud of you guys for not giving up. I think they're out of Woodland. So proud of all these guys that are doing their plus minuses. And let me give some other notable names that I'm paying very close attention to. So when you look at the Leaders Bulletin, I want you guys to know one thing here. I have never heard a single company, any of our competitors, Primerica, Trans, anybody, have 9 base shops recruit over 100 people in a month. I have never, ever heard that before. We may be the only company in the history to have 9 base shop, have over 100 recruits in a single month. Look at those names up there on the Leaders Bulletin. Vargas is 222, Del Toro 195, Gaitan 190, Hart 151, 137 Almaraz, Zapala 136, Alvana 130, Ricky and Erica. You got 117 Marvin and D 106. Alejandro 6 recruits away from 100. We would have had 10 base shops over 100 recruits. But I like Alejandro's back at the 94, Marco Palaio 81, Richardson 81. Good job to them. Cindy 79, Quanine 77. Look at some of these names here. Molina, his prior best was 61, now it's 69. Castro 67. That's amazing to increase their numbers. They're probably going to be one of the guys on that list as well. Hilario, Renee Solis 58. I think they broke their record with 57. Great job. Mike P's done that before. They've done that before. They've done that before. Colmenares is back. She had a little bit of a slump. I'd like to see her be more consistent. Eatman's down a little bit. Candy 44. Graziani and Cooper. Look at this. Lane Cooper is tied Jason Graziani for base recruits. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that Jason Graziani and Lane Cooper are going to tie? They're going to tie in base recruits. Unbelievable. So proud of this guy making a comeback. We only have one SVP left to come back building a base shop. Well, we'll see if she will be willing to come back and lead her hierarchy by building a base shop, because he has chosen to do it. He and his wife, proud of these guys. He's got 3 MDs that are about to pop out. He feels. Gaines, Elginette, got that 41. Good job, got that, man. Good job, got that. Zaldo, there you go. Gerda coming up. She had a big closeout. So you see the names here on what we have. A lot of people that are doing some numbers. This guy's never done 35 recruits. He did 35. That's good stuff here. Paul Medrano did, I just saw Paul's name here somewhere here. Where is it? Paul Medrano did 35 after popping out an MD. That's solid. Puerto Rico 34. So there's a lot of good things going on here when you look at the Leaders Bulletin. Even Coulthers. When's the last time Coulthers did 32? I can't think of the last time Coulthers did 32. Martinez 32 on a difficult month, but he still did 32. So proud of him. And so you go Wrist. Good job, Wrist. Rayford's on that list. Hansberry 28. One of the top recruiting base shops. I think he's the number 2. They are the number 2 recruiting base shop out of the Oakbrook office after Vic and Anna. They passed up everybody. Obviously on MSM, number 1 is Chris and Richardson. No one's even close to those guys. We'll see if anybody wants to compete. So you go down the list, you kind of seen who's doing what. I'm paying attention to everybody's numbers just so you know. Okay, so I got 2 more things to show you. One of them is which net SVP team had the most people doing over 100, 50, 25, 10. I'll show that here in a minute. But the other one is super team, who broke their prior best record and by how much, right? Because one thing is to break your record, but the other thing is by how much did you break your record? So I am ranking these super teams, and it's only SVPs and up. If you're not an SVP, you got to be an SVP for me to hold you accountable to these kinds of things. It's only SVPs, and then I'm going to show you the people that this last July of 2018, how it compares to last July recruiting, and the plus minus on that as well. Some of these numbers tell a lot about what's taking place. So let me first show you super team by how much they beat their prior best. Here's what's crazy. Every single super team, SVP and up, had their biggest super team recruit ever in the history of PHP, all at the same time. That's why we did 4,722. You know how hard it is to get everybody on the same page as a company? That's where we are today, going into the convention. What a story. Okay, so number 1 biggest plus minus, again, it's Gaitan. Gaitan's last month did 1,203 recruits. It's a record in PHP. No one's ever recruited over 1,000. The prior record was 899 and they held it. They beat their own record by 304 recruits, making them the number 1 plus minus in the entire company of PHP. And that is the new record. Does anybody want to beat it? Does Unity want to beat it? Does Vargas want to beat it? Does Sapalos? Anybody want to beat that record? Because they own it now. Palaio, number 2. They did 980. They fell 20 short of 1,000. 20 short of 1,000 recruits in a single month. And their prior best was 744, which means they increased their prior best by 236. Great job, Palaio. They are up. Their number 2 is plus minus. Their number 2 in plus minus. Number 3, Sapalas. Their prior best was 640. And their prior best was 473. They cracked 640. They're up 167 recruits. Check this out. Even though they were not the number 4 recruiting hierarchy last month, they were not number 3. They're number 3 for plus minus, but they're number 4 total. I'm giving them credit for number 3 because they increased more than their peers did. Look who number 4 is, Del Toro's. Del Toro's is 729 recruits last month, which is their best ever, because prior to that they did 581, but their plus minus is 148. You see how we're looking at this? That's how you also do with your own people in your hierarchy, by the way. Vargas, they did 600 recruits. They were the 6th biggest recruiting hierarchy, but they're 5th best in plus minus. Okay, 471 was their prior best. They increased it by 129. Great job. Look at the next one here. Cooper, number 6. That's what happens when you lead from the front with the base and you improve. That's the key. They did 603 recruits in a month. Their prior best was 494. They improved by 109 recruits. Let's see who's next. Alejandro, 365. Prior best 269. They beat it by 99 recruits. Great job, Alejandro. Next, Graziani. They did 458. They were the number 7 hierarchy. 378 was their prior best. They beat it by 80 recruits. Then we have Diana Joe, the 317, prior best 248. They increased by 69. You have Phelps, 251 is what they ended up with. Their prior best was 205. They beat it by 46. And Kahindi, this month they did 194. Their prior best was 186. They beat it by 8 recruits. So now let's take a look at how all of these guys led in the base shop recruiting category. So here's what you got. Let me say it again. July, Gaitans did 190 recruits this July. But we want to see how many recruits they did last July, right? 2017. Are they improving? 190 this July. Last July, 69. Oh my gosh. They're plus minus 121 recruits more this year in the base over last year in the base. That's why they are number 1. They're setting the example from the top in the base shop category at the right time going into the convention. Vargas is 222. What do you think they did last July? Ready? 104. They beat them by 118 recruits. That's crazy. Number 3, Del Toro's, they did 195 last year. 86. They increased it by 109. Next, who's next? Number 4, Palayo, 81. What did he do last year? You ready? This one's gonna hurt. The guy only did 29 recruits last year in July. He improved his base by 52, nearly tripling his base recruits. Great job. Alejandro did 94 last year. He did 55. He increased his base recruits by 49. This is how you measure it. Cooper, last year, 43 this year. You want to take a wild guess what Cooper did last year? You ready? All you need to do, this is now, I'm not trying to be funny, just erase this number. Erase the 4. Because last year, Len and Tasha Cooper did 3 recruits in their base shop. They went from 3, they were retired. I used to call them out on every single video. They responded and did 43, plus minus 40. So proud of those guys. Everybody send them love. If you're on Liberation, your leaders are in the game today, setting an example. They're earning their overrides. They're earning their overrides. Sapala, 136. Last year, 109. They still beat it, but they beat it by 27 because that's a big number to overcome, right? Next, Phelps, 25. What did Phelps do last year? 14. They increased it by 11. 2 base shops lower. Okay, and Diana Joe, she did 12, and she crushed it over last year because last year she did 11. So she's up plus 1. Oh my gosh, I so wonder what would happen to Cornerstone the day she decides to actually go wide, build a base shop, and not only just train out of the playbook, but actually do what the playbook says to do. One of the best trainers we have in the company, would love to see her lead Cornerstone. Kahindi, 44 recruits this year, 46 last year. He's down 2 recruits. And Jason Graziani at the bottom, 43 this year, last year 97, plus minus 54. Now, remember a couple months ago I did one. Sapalas had a plus minus that was 95. Vargas has had a bad plus minus. It just so happens this time it's Graziani. He's went from 97 to 43. But the point is, this is the category that drives this category, that drove this category, that led to this category, 4,722. So now, let's take a look at which net SVP team had the most people doing over 100 recruits. Ready? Net SVP team. Vargas, Gaitan, Alejandro had 1.5 people do over 100 recruits last month. Del Toro, Cooper, Sapala had 1. Graziani had half because Almaraz is 50% to him and it's 50% to them. 50 recruits. Let's see who did the most. Vargas and Sapala, 3.5. Number 1, they had 3.5 MDs in their hierarchy do over 50 recruits. Palayo and Alejandro, 2.5. Gaitan, Cooper, Phelps, Diana Joe, 2. Del Toro, Jason, 1 person did over 50, and it was them. Nobody else did it. No, I mean, Jason didn't do it. Del Toro did it, but Jason did only 43. So now we go over here, 25. Sapalas had 8.5 base shops, do over 25. Vargas is 7.5. Graziani Pelayo 6. Cooper Phelps 5. Alejandro 4.5. Gaitan, Diana Joe, Kahindi had, what number would that be? Would that be a 2? I think that's a 2, right? Maybe that's a 2. And then we have Del Toro had 3. I think that's probably a 2. Del Toro had 3. Who had over 10? How many base shops? Over 10 recruits. Sapalas led the way with 13. Vargas 11.5. Gaitan 10.5. Pelayo 9.5. Diana Joe 9. Graziani 8. Kahindi 7. Phelps, Alejandro 6.5. Cooper 6. Del Toro 5. Del Toro's net SVP's got to get bigger because we're starting to realize that a big chunk of Del Toro's MDs that were showing up with over 10 recruits were under Alejandro. Let's see if some new MDs are going to pop out of here and start doing double-digit recruiting. We will see. We will see. Okay, gang, so before I get into the 8 points or whatever, 10 points I have here to cover with you on what I'd be thinking about going into the big event, as we go through these numbers, I want you to know this. For those of you guys that are winning, you like this video. You're going to share with your hierarchy. For those of you guys who are not winning, your numbers are bad, you're probably not going to repost this in the GroupMe. Your MDs are going to know, by the way. They're going to know. The SVP didn't share the video with people on GroupMe. They pay attention. All your MDs pay attention to all this stuff, especially now that I said it. People know why you're sharing some and why you're not sharing some. That's okay. That's how you run your hierarchy. We know which hierarchy is going to share it because it's winning. Now, this is the one part I want you to keep in mind. I had an uncle who passed away. God bless his soul. He didn't know how to lie. And what I mean by that is, you know how you have a relative that always tells you the truth? My dad will tell people if they're fat. I'm like, Dad, you can't tell people that, right? You know how you know the people that always tell you the truth and it hurts? Like, oh, you look ugly. Did you age? Man, why do you look so old? You look like you got fatter. You know those people, right? Okay. Some of you guys say, well, Pat calls me out. He makes me feel so uncomfortable. There isn't anything in the world I can say that's going to be as bad as your numbers. Nothing. Nothing, because everybody after today's report knows who's improving and who's not. Let me say it one more time. Everybody knows. I know, you know, your peers know, your MDs know. Now you can say, I don't care what they think about me. That's fine. It's not what competitors say though. Competitors say, wait till you see what we're going to be doing and we're going to improve. And leaders say, I want to be able to pull my weight as well with the company. That's what leaders do. Leaders want to set bigger examples, okay? So now, you look at the numbers and say, oh my gosh, you know, last year Pat picked on Len so much. I can't believe he went from 43 to 3. You know what that tells you? The guy responds. You know what it tells you about his hierarchy? When he says it, he's going to have the moral authority to say, guys, do you remember when Pat called me out for 1.5 years? You know how much I hated it, but he was right. He now has moral authority to say that. It shows maturity on his standpoint, and look what he's doing. He just crossed $300,000 income, by the way. He's going to get to $500,000 very fast. Vargas just Palau's about to cross 700. Who crossed 600,000? Gaitan's just crossed 600,000. So many people's income. I mean, you're going to see how many new $250,000 earners we have in the next update video. Things are changing, and it's going to be very uncomfortable. I've been saying this for 2 years. People are starting to separate from some hierarchies that used to be big 3 years ago. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. Things are going to change more. And everyone's going to be shown. And by the way, we're going to see who the biggest thinkers in the company are. Because remember, it's outwork, out-improve, out-strategize, and outlast. Remember, the last one is outlast. Some will slow down more than others, okay? But numbers never lie. And you have to make a decision on who you want to be. All I can tell you is we're going to pay a few people $10 million a year income. That's what this business is going to do. It's going to pay many of you $5 million a year income. A few of you are going to make a $5 million a year income. And then, you know, many of you will be like a Cindy Cobos. You make a $250,000 a year income on override from Vargas, and that's fine. That's a dream. That's also okay. If Cindy wants to get to earning respect from her peers and build 2 direct SVPs, that's respect. Good for her. But if she doesn't, look, we're going to pay the override, but you got to choose who you want to be, who you want to be. You can't expect to go into a room and everybody says, oh my gosh, she's a leader, but you're in the override mode. No, you're just a code number. There's a big difference. Who do you want to be? You want to be somebody that sells the dream that doesn't work in overrides? That's your choice. Or you want to be somebody that walks into a room and everybody listens? That's all your choice. So let the numbers improve you rather than going to your corner and crying and not even wanting to watch this video because, oh my gosh, Pat's at it again. I'm not doing anything to your numbers. Your work ethic is either make your numbers look better or worse. That's on you. It's not on us. It's on you. You're not going wide. You're not talking to people. That has nothing to do with us. There's plenty of people in PHP today that are killing it. That's why we did 4,722 recruits with 1,851 policies in a month. Wait till the final leaders bulletin update. So now, here's my points. Couple things. One, every single director promotion you have, submit it to the home office. And by the way, some of you guys may have chosen to promote low standard directors. I'm not promoting them on the video, neither are they walking on stage. Let me say this one more time. Some of you chose to promote low standard directors. We're not recognizing them on the video, nor are they getting a hard hat, because that's our recognition, not your recognition. Which means what? Your email needs to show us specifically. You may have promoted people unofficially. We promote people officially, right? To give us exactly how they did their 50%, no more than 7.5, 8 recruits came from one leg, et cetera, send that in. And Alexis is gonna go through it and she's gonna verify it, and then we'll promote them on the videos. But make sure you send your emails ASAP. You don't wanna wait till last minute, oh my gosh, we forgot about it, we're not gonna recognize them. You gotta make sure you send them in ASAP. Okay, that's number one. Number two, there's a few people that watch this video and they say, oh my gosh, we had such a great month. Our name is TGA, we killed it. And oh my gosh, Renee, we did 61 recruits. That felt so good. Oh, Marvin and Dee, we were number 2, second highest increase. Elvana, we did so amazing. Look at us, Alejandro, 6.5. Oh my, all these guys, right? Okay. The name of the game is outwork, out-improve, out-strategize, outlast. And the month that is crazy, that you get a lot of credit for strategy is August, because it's a big event. So what do you mean, Patrick? Well, how are you gonna get your guys to produce going into the event? And how are you gonna be ready leaving the event? Do you have a contest ready? Do you have anything ready to finish August strong? You know why? Because this leads me to point number 3. Million Point Base Shop Retreat. August is your last month to qualify for it, and that's it. By the way, 11 people have qualified now. Let me give you the golf score for the end of today. Number 1 golf score today would be Vargas. Then it's Del Toro. Del Toro's just passed Sapalas in the licensing checks category. So Del Toro's number 2, then Sapala, then Gaitan, then Hart Palayo, Del Valle, Almaraz, Richardson, Saldana, El Jeanette. By the way, the number 1 first person out of Liberation to qualify is Hart. Not Phelps. Can you imagine if Phelps and Pimbers missed Million Point Base Shop Retreat? Oh my gosh, that would be a story. And so for some of the people that are watching, let me talk to the MD first, then the SVP. MDs. I don't care whose hierarchy I'm a part of. I'm going to the Million Point Base Shop Retreat if I'm an MD. Number 1, I don't care whose hierarchy I'm a part of. Can you grab me? Oh, the battery pack is right here. I don't care whose hierarchy. Oh, shit. Okay, got it. I don't care whose hierarchy I'm a part of. He's telling me about my drive here. Everybody's worried about me not making the flight. I don't care whose hierarchy I'm a part of. I'm going to the Million Point Base Shop Retreat. Let me say this again to you. I don't care if my SVP is not in the game. I don't care if my SVP keeps getting called out. I don't care if my SVP doesn't even drive any initiative or shares this video. Guess what I'm doing? I'm going to the Million Point Base Shop Retreat because there's only one person responsible of your dreams becoming a reality, and that's you. Not your upline. It's you. I'm getting my butt into the Million Point Base Shop Retreat no matter what. So that's the first thing to be thinking about. Number 2, if you're an SVP, when Million Point Base Shop Retreat happens, there's 2 things everybody looks at. Which SVP is not here? It's number 1. And it's worse when your MD's going, the SVP is not there. It's the worst thing. There isn't anything worse than that. The second thing is they look at which net SVP team has the most people. That's the next thing. And do you realize if we didn't have Million Point Base Shop Retreat, Renee and Dalila were at the Million Point Base Shop Retreat. Alonzo was at the Million Point Base Shop Retreat. Ali was at the Million Point Base Shop Retreat. Look how big of a change she made. Alejandro was asking so many questions at the Million Point Base Shop Retreat. Do you remember when Ricky was sitting to my left when he cried? Million Point Base Shop Retreat. Do you remember all of these stories? I remember every single one of them that were at the Million Point Base Shop Retreat. What if they weren't at the Million Point Base Shop Retreat? What if Marvin and Dee weren't at the Million Point Base Shop? What if some of these guys weren't at the Million Point Base? You got to get everybody to the Million Point Base Shop Retreat. But most importantly, you got to get you to the Million Point Base Shop Retreat. You got to go to the Million Point Base Shop Retreat. Next, tomorrow's going to be the SMD call. SMDs, be ready for the call. I got a lot of things to cover with you guys. Some technical, some carrier. I got a lot of great news with carriers to share with you, which is going to be big. That'll be tomorrow on the SMD call. Have your numbers ready to report as well. Here's the other part, guys. This is just different, but I want you to be thinking about it. Can you guys check on your own policies? I mean, I had Alexis and Tom and everybody run a report on which of our MDs' policies is in effect. It is embarrassing how many MDs' policies are not in place. I mean, there's no way in the world we should be doing a GoFundMe. We're insurance agents. Come on, man.
check your policies. Check your policies to make sure they're in place. Nothing hurts me more than that. And some of the names I saw, I'm like, why isn't he paying for his premiums? I don't want to embarrass you yet. I'm not going to do it. But partly, it is frustrating as a leader. We're in the insurance industry. I'm very proud to be part of this industry. I got $25 million of life insurance on myself. I have investors that have another $10 million on me. If I could get another $50 million, I would get more life insurance. But don't be the person that doesn't have insurance in place. Go check it. I'm not trying to call anybody out. All I'm saying to everybody is just please have your insurance policy in place for the sake of your family. And secondly, on the business side, it is so hard. You feel like a hypocrite when you go in the field, you're selling insurance, so you don't have it yourself. Very, very much of a hypocrite. One of the reasons why I bought a car from a guy named Jaime Godina 3 times from Ford, so did Veronica Lopez, is because he told me, Pat, you need an expedition. I have an expedition. I bought an expedition. Own the product. Own the product. It's a character thing. Go own the product. We have a very honorable product. Go own a product for yourself and keep it on the books. Next, if you have anybody that you think should be one, remember how we had the top 3 personal producers, non-MD speaks in the President's Leadership meeting, and the top 7 non-MDs recruiting speaks in the President's Club meeting? If you believe one of your directors is a top 7 non-MD recruiter with the 50% rule, send it to me. Because once I announce it, without you sending me the details, you can't come back and say, well, Pat, my guy did more. I'm not listening because you didn't send the email. I'm only going to look at the leaders bulletin of the directors that are the top 7 to speak in the President's Club of the people that send me the email. You don't send it, your director's not speaking, and it's on you. And I'm going to remind everybody that you didn't send the email. Send your email if you believe one of your guys is going to be the people that's got to be the top 7 directors speaking at the event. And then, okay, a couple other things to wrap up with here. A couple other things to wrap up. These are just a couple thoughts. One, check your weight. Really check your weight. I speak to some of you guys, I'm seeing some of you guys. I can see some people have put on some weight. 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. Some of you guys have put on a little bit more than 35 pounds. And I'm proud of my brother-in-law. Siamak has lost so much weight. He's just in such great shape right now. He's got kids, he's got family. And he's the oldest I've ever seen him because that's life, but he's the best shape I've ever seen him in my life. I'm so proud of him to see him get in shape, right? I'm so proud of some of our guys that are losing weight. Len gained so much weight 2.5 years ago. He's put on, he looks good. He's lost weight. Him and Tasha look so good. They have the energy to work. Some of you guys have gained weight. Your energy's down. You yawn in the afternoon. You got to pay attention to it. You got to take care of your health. Just because we're entrepreneurs, we can't make the excuse every day I eat a hamburger, every day I eat a cheeseburger. I want you to take care of your health. We need you to take care of your kids are counting on you, your family's counting on you, people on your team are counting on you. And most importantly, your future life, the joy, the excitement's counting on you to stay healthy. I'm not pointing at anybody. Just take care of your health, okay? When you make your millions, you got to be able to enjoy it with your body. You're going out to the beach, you're going to go all these other places. You got to take care of yourself, okay? That's one thing. By the way, on the Leaders Bulletin, you can tell weight as well. You take care of your health, you'll typically move up on the Leaders Bulletin. And last but not least, before we wrap up, you know, somebody pulled me aside the other day and said, hey, Pat, can I ask you a question? I said, what is it? How come you're not content yet? I'm like, what do you mean content? Well, my dad's 76 years old. I'm begging this guy to stop working and just relax. I'll fund you. Stay at your place. Go move in with your daughter. Go relax. Why don't you just relax? Go move in. What do you want to do? You want a place? You want? He's working at 76 years old. Not because he needs a penny. My dad says, what do you want me to do? You know what's crazy? Let me tell you what's crazy. His middle brother died in his mid-60s. Okay, he died like 10 years ago. Funny guy. No family, no kids, nothing. He died in mid-60s. Johnny, his youngest brother, died at 66. No wife, no kids, no job, no career, nothing. My dad has had 13 heart attacks, more than all his siblings combined. He's 76, he's still around. What happened? He's in the hunt. The man's not content. Every time he's working on something. See, this whole concept of, I want to make millions so I stop working, what a boring life. You know, my daughter's about to go to school with my kid. They're all going to go to school together, private school. She's about to go to school. All 3 of them are going to be, this could be the only time ever where these 3 kids are going to be in school together. Man, what if their daddy was content? It's a lot of money for them to go there. I see Senna, I hug her, I get emotional, man. She pushed her cheek here, I'm just in heaven. Dylan this morning early, I didn't see him last night. I came home early, I got up early this morning, he came, he just laid on my chest, right? And when Dylan just goes, you know how kids just get into your chest? I mean, what if their dad was content? What if? What if I was just content? I look at some of you guys, I'm like, why are you only at 12 recruits for the month and you're so flippin' talented? Why are you so content with your life? Why do we make so many excuses and not use our talents? Why? It's not for me to answer. I just told you why I'm not. Because I'm excited about life. I'm excited about meeting the 45-year-old Pat. I'm about to turn 40. I'm not going to be in my 30s for 2 more months. Probably going to put a big-ass party, by the way, just so you guys know. Some of you guys will be invited because it's going to be limited, but we'll have a good time. I'm about to be 40. I can't wait to meet the 45-year-old Pat. I'm excited. I can't wait to meet the 55-year-old Pat. I can take my time, but I can't wait to meet him. I can't wait to meet my 60-year-old, any of this stuff. Look, I'm just challenging you. We hit 47.22 because we're not content. We can add another 0 to it. George said it on today's speaker call. We keep adding zeros. What if we add a 0? 47,222 recruits in a month. You know what that means? That means Gaetan recruited 12,000 people. That means George recruited 9,800 people. That means Sapala recruited 6,400 people. That means Del Toro recruited 7,200 people. Vargas, 6,000. Cooper, 6,000. Alejandro, 3,600. Graziani, 4,500. I mean, this is just add a 0 to it. But it's not going to happen if you're content. And guys, I'm telling you right now, it's about to get very uncomfortable because some people are going to separate big time. They're going to separate big time. I want everything in life, all the juice in life, all of it. I want all of it. I want to be able to know what our capacity is here. What can we as a team, what is truly our capacity? What is it? We are officially the 3rd biggest recruiting company in the history of America in insurance. Only 2 companies have recruited more than 4,722 in a month. We did this, underdogs, Middle Eastern CEO, no 4-year degree. Ragtag, less than 20% of our company is white. In an industry where the average agent is a 59-year-old white man, we're an anomaly. The biggest insurance conference wants me to speak? You kidding me? Vargas and Sapalos are not celebrities in the insurance industry. They know who they are. They get LinkedIn all the time now. And many more magazines and publications are going to reach out to us. Who do you think I'm going to highlight? You think people that are retired? No, I'm not going to do that. You wouldn't do that if you were the CEO. I'm going to highlight the people that have grown the company. So I hope you're not content. I hope you're not. Because our capacity is very, very big. And I'd love to see you guys drive people to this big event in ways we've never done before. Never done before. And we're going to the big event proud. I can't wait for all the SVPs. I wish all the SVPs get bonuses. I convinced the board to be able to cut you guys massive checks. Go get it. Go get those checks. They've been approved. I have to sell them. I have to sell them on it. Go get those checks. Let's blow this thing up. Let's have everybody in there. Let's have people sneak in. You know how many security guards we're hiring? Just on Kevin Hart's performance alone, we're having over 100 private bodyguards. 100. It's a $100,000 bill. We have security everywhere. This is going to be crazy. We're going in a different place. And we're doing this. You and I. We are doing this. This is insane what we're doing. No one expected this to happen. So I just wonder, which of the leaders at this level you're at isn't going to be fully content and is going to say, I want to take the company even to a whole different level? History book's going to favor those people. I'm telling you right now. PHP is going to favor anybody that doesn't quit, but history books is going to favor the people that take the company to the next level. And I hope you're one of them. We need you. I hope you're one of them. God knows at a time like this with all these people, we have people that are getting elected into officials that believe in socialism, and they say capitalism is the worst thing. We got to get rid of capitalism. What do you mean we got to get rid of capitalism? We need Hispanics, Middle Easterns, Asians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Guatemalans, Salvadorians, Puerto Ricans, Ecuadorians, you name them, every one of them. Filipinos, we need Russians, Armenians, Assyrians, Iranians, blacks, minorities, majorities, whatever you want to call yourself. We need a bunch of people to understand the concept of capitalism, spread the message to people. That's the only way we're going to help middle America. Not handouts, not $15 an hour minimum wage. Let's teach people how to make $150 an hour by selling an insurance policy. What $15 minimum wage? That's still broke. We want to teach you how to make $100, $200, $500 an hour. That's freedom. So please understand, our crusade is much bigger than just, Gaetan bought a Ferrari. Billions of people dream about buying a Ferrari. He's living billion people's dreams. It's going to happen to so many people. But we got to take that 4,700 recruits a month to 47,000 recruits a month. And we could do it. You and I could do it if we're not content. Anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you. Don't expect the update to go out till next week. Obviously, some of the stuff that I typically share with you guys, I'm not going to share with everybody. I'm going to do some of the Leaders Bulletin, but you got a lot of it that I wanted to share with you guys today. Anyways, I got to go catch this flight before I miss it. Love you guys. Can't wait to see every single one of your dreams become a reality. I'll see the SMDs on the call tomorrow, and I'll see everybody else at the convention in less than 2 weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.